Hey guys, how's it going? I'm in my greenhouse. It's almost March, but check this out. My Flavor Delight Aprium is blooming. This one's grafted to a plum rootstock. It's got a little bit of gummosis or whatever is going on at the graft union here. Maybe that'll eventually heal. But look at this Flavor Delight Aprium. So this one's in a bucket, and it's been warm a couple days here. A few of the days got really hot in here, and that soil heated up faster than my Flavor Delight Aprium that's in the ground. This one is in the ground. This one's grafted to apricot, and I think the graft union of Flavor Delight to apricot is a better union than Flavor Delight Aprium to plum. Flavor Delight is a hybrid, plum and apricot, but it's predominantly apricot, like 75% apricot. It's Flavor Delight graft here. Now this graft was done in the spring, late spring, like early summer of last year, 2023. It's now February 2024. And so in one year I got all this growth. It would have been like 10 feet tall. I pruned it, took the top off and everything. And so within 1 year, less than 1 year, it's set flower buds, and the graft has healed all the way around. So I think the soil in my greenhouse is just really good because of all the compost that I brought in. I brought in so much compost into this greenhouse. It's crazy. Like in the very beginning, before I even built it, I probably got like 2 trailer loads of goat manure in here. And these are like, I think 8 yard. 5 to 6 yard maybe. Yeah, they're probably like several yards per dump trailer. It was a 14-foot dump trailer. So 2 of those of goat manure, and then I dumped 2 more of wood chips, and then I hauled in probably another load of goat manure, another like 2 load of wood chips after that. So this greenhouse is 30 feet in diameter, and now the entire top layer is nothing but composted material. It's at least 1.5 feet deep of just compost now. So the entire top layer of soil in this greenhouse is compost. Oh, there's roots here. That's probably the passion fruit. But this is where I walk. So when you have like live dirt material that has wood chips in it and everything, it doesn't really pack down. So like I can dig and plant in this, and all the mulch hasn't even broken down yet because it was just piled so deep. There's just so much more life force left in here that's not even tapped into by the trees. But this is the coolest thing that I've seen. See this peach? See that? See how thick that is? I'm gonna actually measure it. Okay, check this out. This seedling, this was a seed less than a year ago. It's 1 1.25, 1 3/8 if you go all the way to the bottom. But you see how thick that is? Basically like 1.25 1.25 inch. And this tree was nothing but a seed from Grand Coulee peach. By the way, I'm still selling Scion if anybody wants, but I'm probably not going to be selling for much longer. I got to move on and do other things of the Grand Coulee peach. But this is a seedling of it. Less than 1 year old seedling, and it's about to bloom. So if anybody's ever seen a peach tree seedling bloom in less than 1 year, this tree is less than 1 year old because it germinated in the summer, like early summer. That's when the seed germinated, and it was in a pot. So I transferred it from the pot to the soil like midsummer, and then it just took off. That's because my soil here is just so good. You would never be able to achieve this by fertilizing it. I don't care. You can give the tree all it needs. You don't know what it needs, and it's never gonna grow as fast as it would just by planting it in compost. As soon as I pulled it out of that pot and I put it in the soil, this thing just took off. It would have been taller. This was topped. I pruned it here, and still it's like 9 feet tall with all these side branches. So the sad thing is I need to graft a bunch of varieties that I was sent, and I got to put them somewhere. I wasn't expecting this tree to bloom, but now I kind of want to taste the peaches on it because I'm very curious how this seedling peach will taste, but also just to prove that you can fruit a peach from a seedling in less than 1 year. So I'm gonna graft it, but I'm gonna definitely save some of the branches with blooms on it to see if I can get some peaches. But isn't that cool? I mean, it doesn't have a lot of blooms like a fully mature peach would have. See, like there's entire branches with no blooms. Just shows that this is a seedling. There's no, oh, here's more blooms. It's a seedling peach. Less than 1 year. Less than 1 year, guys. That's crazy. Seedling peach. So I guess that's what soil can do for you. So a lot of people often ask me, hey, how soon will I get fruit if I plant this tree? Well, it depends. It could be 1 year, it could be 8 years. How good is your soil? How good are your conditions to grow in your tree? See, the factors can make such a big difference between the time it takes for your tree to fruit. It's pretty crazy, you know, it's all based on how well the tree feels. If the tree feels healthy and it's like, whoa, I got so much energy, then it'll push out flowers first year. This one's less impressive because it's a graft, and so if it puts on a lot of growth, you expect it to have flowers. But nonetheless, this one didn't do too much worse. This was a seedling apricot that was planted the same year as it was grafted, and yet it still got almost as big as that seedling peach. So that's my Aprium and my peach. I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of repotting of my persimmons and pawpaws. This is KSU pawpaw. This is persimmon seedlings. This is Jerry Lehman persimmon seeds. Jerry Lehman pawpaw, Jerry Lehman pawpaw. I mass seed them like this. If you want to know how to germinate pawpaws and persimmons like this, I have a video on how to germinate. persimmon and pawpaw seeds. I think I have a video on this. If I don't, I have a video on how to germinate black walnuts, and that's very similar to this. Large seeded plants. I just lay the seeds on the soil and cover them with a 2-inch layer of mulch, and that's it. For persimmons and pawpaws, they need heat to germinate, so you want to put them in your greenhouse or someplace warm. But also, what I've noticed is I bought 3 different varieties of pawpaw seed from Cliff, England, and there was one batch of seeds he sells as Ron Powell seeds, and those didn't germinate too well. Here's one of those buckets. This was supposed to be Ron Powell. So I layer these seeds on here. There was at least 15 seeds in this bucket. Only 2 came up. There's another bucket right there. It's Ron Powell. And there's 3 seedlings that came up. So if you guys are looking to germinate, if you're just curious for the genetics of the Ron Powell pawpaw, then you can get that variety of seed from Cliff. But if you just want more seedlings for grafting, then either get the KSU seeds. KSU pawpaw germinates like crazy. Or get the Jerry Lehman. I think the KSU germinated the most. The highest germination percentage was from the KSU pawpaw seeds. Jerry Lehman did fairly well, but not as many of them germinated as the KSU. I also got some from eBay. Those germinated really well. And I also planted some of the crosses. This is just some of the selected varieties of seeds, also from Cliff, England. This is Mariah's Joy. I got 6 or 7 seedlings there. Here's some more persimmon. That's probably northern persimmon. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of repotting. I'm gonna put these 1 per pot, probably in the long tree pots. And hopefully by the following year, these will be ready to graft, because at this stage they're a little bit too thin to graft. But just want to show you guys the difference. See, this is northern persimmon, Jerry Lehman persimmon. They have fairly similar vigor, but if you plant, these are all 90 chromosome persimmons. If you plant the 60 chromosome persimmons, this is also, see, this one popped up just in a different pot. I didn't mean to plant it here, but the seed germinated, straggler from the year before. But this one is, 3 times the size of the northern persimmon. It just has that much more vigor. A lot of the persimmons that I grafted last year were onto 60 chromosome persimmons, because I got them big enough from seed to graft the next year. And now this is going on the 2nd year with the grafted persimmon. So I feel like in the Pacific Northwest, where we don't get really cold winters, so we don't need the extreme cold hardiness of the northern persimmon, we actually need more vigor, because our summers don't get hot enough. We are mild climate winter and mild climate summer. We don't get hot enough to give the persimmons that push. And so, see, here's another 60 chromosome persimmon that popped up in the middle, right under my Aprium here. And it's already like 5 feet tall. So they probably would get a little bit bigger if they weren't packed in so tight together, but still noticeable difference in vigor between 90 chromosome, 60 chromosome, same age. So I'm gonna experiment with grafting onto 60 chromosome as well as 90 chromosome persimmons here in the Pacific Northwest because we need more vigor. I also select for highest vigor in pawpaws as well. So see, these are seedling pawpaws that I left in the buckets for the second year because oftentimes they'll germinate more. So like first year they'll germinate and they'll look like this, and then I'll leave them in the bucket, and then like two or three will germinate next to the ones that germinated the previous year if you don't disturb the pot. But even among the ones that germinated the first year, there's a noticeable difference in vigor. Like some of them, like look at this bucket here. This is a bucket of 2-year-old pawpaw seedlings. Among them, there are 2 seedlings that are like 2-3 times the size of the rest. And I've noticed that when I choose these as rootstock, they just do infinitely better here in the Pacific Northwest, cool summer climate, because they provide more vigor to the variety on top after you graft it. The slower growing pawpaws just don't do well enough here. And so like if I have a bucket of seedlings like this and I see 1, 2, 3, 4 big ones, those are the ones that I select as rootstock for my climate. For some people have reported that the pawpaws have been suckering and just almost growing to the point where they seem invasive in some climates. So in those climates, you maybe could use the less vigorous ones, and those will be fine for you. But for me, I need high vigor and just the fastest growing roots to provide the energy for the top variety to grow in this cool climate. That's one of the reasons why I'm still growing pawpaw trees in my greenhouse, because I'm still unsure how well they will produce outside. So I just want to have a couple pawpaw trees in my greenhouse. Hopefully these will produce for me this year as well. The Shenandoah produced last year. So anyway, that's a quick greenhouse update. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.